bizarre stories from subscribers. Hey, my name is Jonas. I was at home in my room ready to sleep when I heard a strange noise coming from the hallway. My heart started racing, but I tried to ignore it, I convinced myself it was just my imagination. Still, I decided to check. I opened the door carefully and took a look, It was my cat, the little guy, just standing there staring at nothing. He seemed restless, like he was sensing something I couldn't see. I sighed in relief, thinking he was just scared by some noise outside or maybe a little bug around, right? I left the door open and went back to bed. But when I looked again, man, the little guy was right next to me. Watching me in silence, something inside me told me that something was wrong. His eyes were different, darker. The way he just stood there staring at me didn't seem normal. Normally, he would rub up against me, asking for affection. But now, man, he was just standing there. The little guy was always playful, but now he seemed like something else. That reminds me that once I read about an indigenous people from North America called the Navajos, I can't really say for sure, Leo Augusto. But all I know is that they believed there were creatures called Skinwalkers, witches who gained the ability to transform into animals by performing dark rituals. They not only take on the form of animals, but they can also imitate the human voice to lure their victims. My mind was trying to find a rational explanation, for my pet's behavior, but I knew it wasn't really him. Where could my real cat be? Skinwalkers can completely replace their prey or use skin to dress up and impersonate the other. If that's the case, then what's beside me right now? My breathing, man, got heavy. I looked at the little guy, or at whatever seemed to be him. My instinct was screaming at me to run, but my feet were glued to the floor. Until then, I hear a hoarse whisper coming from my own cat's mouth. I heard the following.
What's wrong, Jonas? Why are you looking at me like that? It's me, your buddy Bichaninho.
From then on, I started locking my door when I went to sleep. Until after a week, I didn't see him at home anymore. It seems like he ran away or left. My parents say that's just how cats are, that sometimes they leave without saying goodbye. Hey Leo Augusto, how are you? My name is Danilo, and I've been following you since you started the channel. It all started a year ago when I moved to my new condo. There used to be a huge mansion there, but it was demolished. Since the beginning, the place had a strange atmosphere. The pool was built exactly where the old mansion's basement used to be. It always gave me the chills. They said there was a well or something like that down there, but nobody knew for sure. One day I was in the pool with a friend who says he can see things. Suddenly he turned pale and said there was a woman there with us. I looked around, but I didn't see anything. It was empty. I thought he was joking or trying to scare me, We walked around there, man, and we started hearing strange noises coming from the cistern, muffled, distant sounds like submerged screams. The sound gave me chills, and I ran home without looking back. 2 days later, it was a quiet night. I went to the car to get some groceries my mom had bought and forgot to bring the bags, It was left up to me. As I was walking through the parking lot, I heard a psst coming from the direction of the pool. I saw a girl standing there by the edge of the water. She was wearing an old wet swimsuit and her skin looked way too pale. Before I could react, she whispered 2 dates. My body froze instantly. I quickly grabbed the groceries and ran back home. On their first date, she mentioned my little mouse who always slept with me disappeared. I looked for him everywhere, but nothing. The next day, as I walked by the pool, I saw something floating in the water. It was him! My little mouse was dead, his body swollen and motionless. On the second date, I woke up to screams coming from the condominium. I looked out the window and saw residents gathered around the pool. When I got closer, I was speechless, man. The water was red, dyed as if someone had poured blood in there. Since then, I stopped going there, man, so I wouldn't find out about the weird things that happen around there. I avoid the pool as much as I can. But every now and then, someone drowns there. Thank you for reading my story.